Are you looking for a faster video? Well, today it's a live stream, and I know you're probably looking for a really nice and tidy, edited down video, but I have ways for you to make it faster. You can click that little gear on the YouTube settings right there on the video and adjust the playback speed, make me sound like a chipmunk, and it'll go a lot faster. You can also look and see if there's timestamps for this project in the description, and if you're on a desktop, you can hover over the time bar at the bottom of the screen and see if it's chunked up into chapters, and then that way you can go directly to the step you're looking for. And lastly, you can also tap on the screen on the right hand side of the video picture or on the left hand side to make the video jump ahead, forward or backward if you're on a mobile device. And you can adjust that amount in your settings so you can have complete control over how much it jumps. So if you are on a desktop, you can use the fast forward or the rewind, and that will make it go faster as well. You can also enable subtitles, and the little CC on the screen will enable closed captioning. That way, if I am a little bit harder to understand with that double playback speed, the subtitles might help you out. All right, well, I know that it's not a nice little edited video, but if you sew with me, we'll get there together and it'll be lots of fun. And now for the live stream. Happy sewing! Hello! I clicked the scene, nothing happened. I was like, how are you? How are you? Welcome! How's it going? Happy Wednesday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Nice to see you all. Hi, Delwyn, Shem, Anna, Rachel, Aisha. Hey, Kristen, welcome. I'm glad you could make it. Marjeet, how's it going? Yeah, so if you need any help, like knowing what to do in a live chat, Kristen, I don't know if this is your first live stream in general, just ask. But you figured it out, you can type in the chat, so that's pretty much all you need to know. And you're welcome to ask questions about anything. Just know that there's a delay in when I say something and you see it. So if you reply to me, and this goes for everybody, if you reply to me, make sure you say what you're replying about, because in a few seconds I can move on to something else. You guys know me. So anyway. No, I'm on time. What are you talking about? That intro is a little long, and I keep it because I feel like it helps other people. So, okay, so today I'm continuing this garden capsule wardrobe, gardening, like outdoor clothing. Really, I don't really have a garden. I just have a big yard. I'm making some overalls, and this was kind of an impulse buy. I've seen a few people make these. Mullen, who's one of the mods here, I've seen hers, and they're really cute and they're really intriguing. And I think what I like about it, like normally I don't go for drawstring waists at all. My body is just not very compatible with them. But I feel like in the overalls, what's going to be nice about them is that it'll prevent the crotch hanging low on the thigh and rubbing, you know? So I like that idea because it kind of holds up the, you know, the overalls, makes them more like pants. So anyway, I know, Shem, right? I thought about that too. It's those little things, like when we have the technical difficulties, they can really scar you and make you like, oh God, it's gonna happen again. But we've been through so many of them now. So anyway, yeah, Anna, there you go. Hi, Tammy, how's it going? Okay, so I have a bunch of the materials out. I'm really using a lot of, hey Hannah, how's it going? I really use a lot of the stuff I have on hand because I do have a lot of things on hand. And I have a lot of hardware. I just happen to have a lot of hardware because I worked in the outdoor industry for a long time. So some of the things that are required, hopefully you saw the picture at the beginning of the stream of what I'm making. But this is, sorry, it's a little overexposed right now. It's a little bright. This is the partner overalls by Ready to Sew. They don't give you a picture on the PDF, so this is my line drawing. Those are the same left and right. They're just for different size ranges. So the range on the right also has bust starts and a yoke seam, a bib seam for shaping. So you're right, Nancy, exactly. Yeah, I just don't like, I think like you need the extra torso length and things like jumpsuits and overalls, so it's absolutely necessary to have that. And if you get rid of it, you're not going to be able to sit down very comfortably or squat. And obviously, if I'm doing yard work, I need to be able to do that. And by having a draw cord, I feel like that'll keep it'll just kind of cinch in all that looseness, and it's still there. Like the ease is still built into it, but it will keep it closer to the body so that it'll be a little bit more comfortable. Because I really hate things, you guys know me, I hate things rubbing on my thighs. So, and it's the same with the crotch seam. It's not comfortable for anybody. So anyway, so the things I need for this, my fabric is over here, by the way, and I'll pull it to the table. This fabric was gifted to me by Libby. She did some stash busting, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be perfect for those. So, and it's like a colored denim, a reddish colored denim, and you'll see in a second. So there are a lot of notions that you need for this. Where's my list? So this is what I'm planning. My only hiccup right now is the clasps right here, and I have a couple of ideas. So I could order them, they'd be here tomorrow, but I'm kind of wanting to use some stuff. So this was a strap that I rescued from something, like a bag or something, you know, and this would not be a comfortable shoulder strap. So I stole it for the hardware and the webbing, and it has these clips. The thing is, these clips are really clunky. I'm not a big fan of the plastic style. If you have any kind of issues with your hands, you got to watch these. These are kind of a pain, and they can be really hard to squeeze. So there's also the idea of doing buckles. These are pretty clunky though, and this is a 1-inch buckle, and the requirement for this pattern is 1.5 inch. A 1.5 inch buckle is kind of gigantic. They don't require a buckle, they require a 1.5 inch clasp, like an overall clasp, right? So one of my ideas instead is to do a Velcro strap. For that, I can use, oh, and so I got these out. So look, if you're gonna use something like this, like a clip, use it on a triangle, not a D-ring. Because a D-ring, it's gonna slide to one end, and your D-ring is going to sit at like a capital D. What you want is a triangle like this. This one has room for the strap, and this one doesn't. This is nice because then it won't slide, your strap won't slide around in the triangle. But if you only have these, this is great because then it sits at the, you know, one corner of your triangle, right? And it won't slide around. But getting these off and on is really tricky because some of these are a little chunky. There's a lot of subtle things to consider with hardware, and try it out before you sew it on. So I can't stress that enough. So my current idea is using a Velcro and using like a 3-bar slider. So I have some Velcro here. 1.5 inches is really wide. It's really, really wide. And it might be comfortable because of the strap going over the shoulder, but when it gets to here, you might consider tapering if you can. Right, Aisha, exactly. We're all about compatibility with patterns here, aren't we? Pattern compatibility, exactly. So these are 3-bar sliders, right? The bar in the middle makes it, see, it's different than like this, right? This is just a loop. This is called a loop lock. And this is a 3-bar slider, loop lock, 3-bar slider. The problem with these is that your straps, they can, most typically, something like this with a large window like this, your straps can slide to one end, and then you're using it like this, it's slid and it doesn't stay flat against the body. With the 3-bar slider, these are really handy for making adjustments to the length of a strap without having to have it separate, like this one here. See, this one has a 3-bar slider, so it has a strap sewn to the middle, and now you can slide and adjust the strap, right? So that's that. But they're also handy for tethering other things. So what I could do is put something like this, you know, if this were the bib, right? And let's say I have a little strap, I could go like this. We'll pretend like this is a strap. All right, so then you can have a strap like this, right? And then you have the strap that's built onto the overall, and it can go through this and Velcro. So that's my current thinking. It's also soft and smooth, so we're gonna try that. And if this doesn't really work, I can always add an overall clasp, so. I mean, Shem, you know. That's why we adapt. We adapt to our needs and make them compatible. Ice cream body. All right, so that's my solution for the overall clasps. The other thing you need is a draw cord. And I have black draw cord. I don't have like something that goes with my project. So I'm gonna use twill tape. Twill tape has this distinctive texture on it. I think this will work fine. So I'm gonna use that for my draw cord. Oh, I also got some buckles from belts, from cheesy belts from things I've owned. Or they probably came in like a belt package. These can operate as 3-bar sliders. The problem is I only have one. Look at this one is actually taken off a belt. You can see the little thing that would toggle to go through the holes of a belt. That broke off, so I just saved this. So there's hardware everywhere. All right, so I needed the drawstring. I have eyelets here. That's what the drawstring can go through. So you got to make sure your drawstring is going to go through the eyelet hole. You can use a buttonhole probably. They may not last as long, but eyelets also have their drawbacks because you're literally putting a hole in your fabric. So elastic is right here. I mean, you're going to use this really soft knit elastic. I think it didn't work for a project. So I'm going to use this. I can't really see the texture of this, but I'm going to use this for the straps. There's like elastic in the straps so that you have a little bit more comfort. So cord ends, I would not put cord in. Cord ends are not called cord ends. They have a funny name. But think about like, you know how on your hoodie you have that little plastic tip on the drawstring of your hoodie? There are more fancy versions that look like a bell, you know, something that decorates the end of your cord and kind of keeps the little frayed edges from fraying any further. I'm not going to put those on this. I think that would be fine if this was streetwear, but this is outdoor wear and I don't want those. They can be a little heavy and they can kind of swing around, bang around. I have them on my Kelly anorak and they're great, so. All right, thread, matching thread and contrasting thread. All right, we got this. And then I pulled out some labels. So this one Libby gave me from her trip to visit, well, she visited Malin in Sweden, one of the mods. And I put this one on my husband's overalls. So I'm gonna put this one on my overalls. And then this is one of the patches from my box, the advent calendar box from Kylie and the Machine. Why not? Let's put a patch on it, right? I need to use these eventually. So that's my whole notions list. I've got lining fabric for the bib, lining fabric for the pockets. This is a napkin from World Market or Cost Plus. I don't know what you call it. And this is a yarn dyed woven. And it's a little problematic because of the loops on the back. So I'm going to use it as a lining so that the loops aren't exposed, and this side's nice and secure. These little loops are very, very short. So, all right, the batting is out because I might quilt some knee pads on this one. Since my knee pads on, I have my Sequoia cargo pants over there, since those didn't really work out. Aglets, thank you, Fiona. Aglets, thank you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can do that, Anna, but you have to be able to untie that knot in a hurry if you need to use the restroom. So while that is a solution, I feel like it's an aggravating solution over time. You can also do a button and buttonhole. You can make it adjustable. You can also do snaps. You just need something for something to, you know, the strap to slide through. So, you know, you could put, like I said, you know, put a strap to attach one of these to the top of your bib, right? And then your strap can go through and it can, you know, we'll pretend like this is the strap, right? Well, here, I'll just pretend like this is the strap, right? And then you could do snaps right here, buttonhole, Velcro. The problem with snaps and buttons and buttonholes is that they're less adjustable. So I'm thinking about, my overalls are going to be tainted with cactus prickles and poison oak. So getting them on and off without touching them very much is really key for all of our clothing. We have a whole poison oak station at the back of our door when you walk in our house. That's how bad it is. So yeah, exactly, Aisha. I put those on my Sew House 7, what are those bibs? The Burnside bibs. That's the first thing I changed after wearing them for a little bit. Even if you don't have quick bathroom needs, it can be kind of a pain if you, say you have gloves on, or you have issues with your hands or your fingernails, grabbing the knot sometimes, and some fabrics are kind of thick so they won't knot very well, and you have this big knot right here. So I have played around with that, and it does, you know, it is one way to deal with it, but I'll just tell you my experience just in case. Okay, so I planned on Velcro, draw cord. I'm gonna need 3-bar sliders. I mean, you could actually make these. Could you actually do that? You could. You could make this an adjustable strap that has no closure, but your strap would have to be so long so that you could let it loose enough to get them on and off. You wouldn't have to be that long, but it is a possibility. You could do just a 3-bar slider and strap, and that's it, just like this. If you pretended like this end, you know, let's say this end is sewn to the bib, right? This is one of my strengths, you guys, dealing with hardware. It's some of it's so mind-bending. All right, so let's pretend like this is sewn to our bib. All right, we have a 3-bar slider right here. And then this end is sewn to the other end of the bib, all right? So what happens is you would have to have a lot of strap. You'd also have to have a slider back here, because this would have to be able to slide through. So we'll pretend like, how can I do that? How can I get this on here? Let's see if I can. We'll pretend like that's sewn through a loop at the back there. You could do your overalls like this, but see how much strap you would have to have? It would have to go back to there. I mean, it would just have to go to where you're sewing it. So it could go to where the elastic is, as long as you had enough adjustability. You'd have to experiment. But this is, you know, adjustable, right? So anyway. It takes a little bit of noodling on, but there are lots of solutions for stuff like this. So don't despair if you don't have the right kind of hardware or you don't want to wait for it to arrive. You might have something. All right, so let's put all this away. We're just going to keep these things here. And we'll put them in our bin. Right here. We're going to put the batting in here as well, because we'll cut that later. And then now let's get out our project. So I'm going to warn you, there is one pretty glaring problem with this pattern. It's not going to prevent us from making it or anything like that. And I'm going to show you how to fix it. It just makes me go, what else is up with this pattern? All right, so here's my fabric. It's very wide, but I cut it really close. So I had to do a little bit of a mock layout so we weren't doing too much fabric chicken. So let's see here. Let me show you what the issue with this pattern is so that you can be on the lookout for something like this. I bought the expansion pack for this pattern, but I'm not going to use it. I wish I wouldn't have purchased it. The expansion pack is awesome. It's just that the expansion pack makes these less like the style they are, like what makes this pattern kind of the partner overalls, which is the little draw cord and the knee patch pockets. They're like a combo reinforced knee with a pocket on them. What the expansion does is makes them more like a classic overall with hip pockets right there. So, hey Rebecca, how's it going? Yeah, exactly, Aisha. Hi Terry. Using where a knot is like a button so it doesn't have to be untied because shove through. Oh, yeah, exactly, Anna. Yeah, but you can also rip your buttonhole if you squat or it got caught on something. So it's not off grain. Well, I guess, I don't know what you want to call it. It's out of balance. So let me bring down the brightness. This is the kind of thing that makes me unpopular. Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how sometimes things that you didn't even do wrong make you unpopular? All right, so here, let's see, this is the back leg. The front leg is the same. So here's your crotch rise, your waist seam, your side seam, right? This right here is the grain line, okay? This little dashed line, you see that? When you get down here though, the hem is at an angle. Can you see it? This is lower, then this is higher. I have many feelings about this. It is a full inch lower. So I want you to take a second right now, and I want you to picture the kind of person who this would work for. Their legs would literally have to be like this on their body because it would have to sit like this. So I just want you to be aware of things like that. When you see something like this, straighten it. And if you're a little nervous about like cutting it off, just go with the longer side. So that's about all I have to say about that. If you want to ask questions, feel free. I'm going to measure my inseam real quick because I'm going to see if I can just use the shorter side. I love that this happens, ironically, while I'm doing this whole big pants fitting thing in the guild right now. I'm like, bring it on. Give me all the examples. All right, so. Yes, Shem, that's exactly it. Aisha, I know you're not stirring the pot there. All right, so I'm pretty sure I can go with the shorter side. Sydney, could that be because an adjustment was made for big hips in the wrong place? Never should your hem be like this. Yeah, that's different, Terry. That's a little different. This is the inseam versus the outseam. So if you were to do like high-low type of thing, that's a little bit different. You know, because then you're talking about this being the front of the leg, right? This is the center facing out, right? And yeah, you could make adjustments like that. And I'm not saying that your hem might not be best like this on you, but the thing is, if you thought about the person standing there like this is what that would mean. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, they need to charge. She needs to charge. I may have mentioned that in one of my many messages she never responded to. I was like, yeah, charge. Get a Patreon. Let people support you. Don't come after people trying to help you promote. All right, so that's all. That's really just what I want you to know about that pattern. So let me trim it. Let me get rid of that. Let me fix it, for me at least. So I'm just gonna go with the shortest side. If you're tall, I would definitely maybe check the inseam before you do this. So yeah, if you need more in the hip area, Sydney, I would go out at the hip there and put it there, because making it longer, because look at it this way, Sydney. What if this was narrower, but they made the outseam longer? You and I both know that because it's narrower across here, it's not going to give you the girth you need just by making that length longer, right? So, hey Taya, how's it going? Yeah, there you go, Shim. I know exactly how this happens, and I don't know for sure what happened here and why this happened. You know, I think the thing is, you guys, I still buy patterns that have issues like this. Like, this is just the state of the thing, where we're at right now. We're learning how to try and detect these things and then react to them so that we don't have to deal with this later. You could most likely make this and never notice a thing. Maybe your pants are like hitting the inside of your shoe a little bit more, but that's about it. Yeah, I know what you mean, Sydney. Like, I understand, like, sometimes we do add fullness and it creates a longer line, but when you start kind of thinking that way through, you realize it just puts it in the wrong place, right? And this is on the inseam, by the way, not the outseam. So, yeah, so when you're doing computer, okay, I'm going to tell you exactly where I saw this happen once when I was really early on in my pattern drafting career, and I was learning CAD, which is computer-aided drafting. So I had only up until that point, I had been working in the garment industry for, well, I want to say less than 10 years. So while I had a really great resume at that point, I was still pretty inexperienced, you know, maybe I'd been working in the garment industry for, I want to say like 7 or 8 years, right? And I'm the type of person that when I went to work, I threw myself into my work. Like, in my 20s, I wasn't doing the things 20-year-olds do, unfortunately. I was working and I loved it. Like, I don't have any regrets about that. So I had a pretty good resume when I came to CAD, but it really threw a lot of things on its head for me. It was really hard to make the adjustments I was used to making because I could make them on the table and they were life size right in front of me. And anytime you're doing 3D design, it can be a little bit mind-bending anyway. I've always felt really lucky that the one thing I kind of understand is how things are when they're inside out and on something. But doesn't mean I don't fall short in other areas. So one time I was tasked with fixing someone else's pattern and it was like this. So I don't know how hers got there. But another time I was working closely with marketing and sales, because it's usually how it works. It doesn't work it's not always like a designer says, I'm going to do all these designs, here you go, pattern department. No, it's usually driven by like marketing and sales, and there isn't really always a designer. It is someone directing what the the design department should do. And so as the pattern drafter, I was a designer there, but I'm largely doing what they're telling me to do. So they will say, because they aren't pattern drafters, what they'll say is, here, we really like this pant, and it was one of our pants, to be fair, it was one of our pants, so we weren't copying someone else's. But we really want the outseam to be this and the inseam to be this, and we want this change and this change. And because they were trying to go after this very specific type of use and fit. And I won't go into all the details of that because it's just kind of boring and kind of very specific. So what happens is when you're looking on a screen and you're seeing like, okay, I need my outseam to be this and my inseam to be this, and you just plug that number in, you're like, okay, I want this line right here from this point to this point and all the points in between. I want you to change that length to be this number here, and when you do the change, I want you to go in the x-axis or the y-axis, whatever way, right? You can say, I want you to distribute it evenly. I want you to distribute everything above this point, everything below this point. You can do all these different things, but it doesn't know, like the computer doesn't know what you're making, you know, like that's where everyone thinks like the computer does all this work for you, but it doesn't know what you're making. And so what you end up having is this pattern that it was almost like it was contrived, right? It wasn't based upon what it really needed. And you want to do this thing where you have the pattern in there and you see this and you're like, fudge. That's the first thing you say, right? You don't want that to happen because you couldn't have said, oh, I want this to change and go that way, right? You don't want the rise to go that way. You don't want that to go. You don't want any of that stuff to change. And so then what you want to do is you want to take, if you've ever done any kind of drawing or anything in the computer and then you skew your design, you want to do this, take this point and you just want to pull. But you can't do that either. So that's what happens. And then when I see this very, 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 very often is when someone's copying someone else's garment and they don't know what they're doing for the pattern drafting and the design, and they don't fix it. So what they do is they take the garment and they lay it on and they trace it. And the garment's probably not like that, but it's really hard to accurately trace a garment onto paper and make a pattern from it perfectly. You have to kind of go, oh, okay, there's some few fit things here. If you measure the left leg and the right leg on the sewn garment, they measure differently. So then you're kind of like, well, which one do I go by? You know, there's lots of little like decisions you're making. And so I saw this a lot when people were copying, doing knockoffs, and they just hadn't fixed it yet. So that's my long story on how this can happen. I don't know how it happened here. This is probably just an oversight, you know, because it's not in the grade rule. So, yeah. Right, Shem? I know, yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of people think that CAD will grade your pattern for you too, and it doesn't. You have to put in all that stuff. So, anywho, I love this pattern. I think it's adorable. I'm excited to sew it. This is no big deal of a change. It would be a really big problem if I looked at this pant, I looked at it, and this grain line, because see, this is what I do. If we fold this on the hem right here, I'm going to fold it so that the hem, oh, I can't because it's not. Yeah, so if I make that line perpendicular, so now I have my new hem, right? So look, right, my new line. I'm going to line that up and fold it on there, okay? Let's see what happens. So it should be, you know, parallel to the grain line, right? Okay, so when I do that and I put that crease, see this crease right here down the middle? The pant is pretty balanced on either side of it. It doesn't have to be, but if this fold went through the rise right here or off the hip, then I'd be really worried. And it's not doing that. That's why I feel really comfortable making this change, and there's nothing really wrong with this pattern. It just has a funky hem thing, and it was probably just like, oh, we want the inseams to be this. And the pattern drafter did that. The pattern drafter doesn't make those decisions sometimes when they're like freelance or something. They're just told what to do, they do it. and then they hope someone catches it. So anyway, I'm not trying to knock it. I just want you to know that. And be aware of it, because sometimes they don't know either. Okay, so I'm gonna get this on the grain here. And I'm just gonna make sure I have enough fabric again, because I'm obviously cutting it a little close. Thankfully, this fabric Libby gave me is really wide. Oh, and I need to adjust this hem on this end too. In my quest to find a perfect dress, I just bought 4 dress patterns. None of them will fit well with that. Oh. Here, let me, so what I do to fix this, I'm just extending the grain line all the way to the bottom. I love that this pattern has a grain line going all the way and not like the 4-inch long grain lines. We'll just square across here. And let me see, did I used the bottom line, so we'll use the bottom line there, just like that. And I also need to make sure, so this has a pretty wide hem too. It looks like it has like a, oh, see, now that's really interesting too. Oh no, it does go in right there. So it looks like it has like maybe a 1.5-inch hem. So let's fix that too. All right, so there's our hem point there. We'll mark 1.5 inches there, come out. Wait, I'm getting confused by all these lines. Oh my gosh, I'm getting confused because it's upside down. I don't usually do this sideways, it's so funny. All right, so we're gonna do 1.5 there. So I'm just putting that hem shape back in there. Well, I haven't heard that one, Nancy. I finished my dress form. I finished my dress form stand. My pant form, I should say. Not my dress form, my pant form. I keep calling it a dress form. I need a line. There we go. I'm not explaining this only because I feel like I've told you guys how I do this every time, and I didn't want to bore you. But I can teach you if you want. If you're adding that hem shape, the easiest thing to do is just to fold up your pant along the hem line. This is the easiest way. It doesn't take any instruction. Then fold it on that hem line, and then cut your pant inseam and outseam to the width that you want your hem to be, which is, you know, right there. And then when you unfold it, you'll have the shape that you need to be able to hem your pants without any kind of weird pulling or anything like that. I mean, it's right here when we pull it over. I just put a pair of pants on here. Can you see her? Oh yeah, you can see her. Let me do full screen. I just finished her yesterday. And I put on the glissando pants. So I'm still getting the stuffing distributed right. But I'm already loving seeing the back, especially my thigh area back here. So the belly isn't full enough here. And I don't think it's scooped out enough here, but it's getting there. And the thing is, it'll be fine for pants fitting. But look at this right here. Yeah. So yeah, I had to put these fabric pieces on my stand. I'm really excited for the stand I made. You probably can't see it very well, but it is a pipe stand that I made, and it has like a base and everything. But the pipe has like a grease on it, so I had to make little sleeves so I can pick it up and move it. All right. Oh, okay, Rachel, thanks. I feel like I was already a little lecture-y this morning. So, people are like, I just came to like hang out, watch you cut. I want to hear a lecture about pattern drafting and why things are the way they are. I'm just focused and a little bit over-caffeinated, I think. Oh yeah, I totally believe you, Nancy. You are not the only one. And I did try it on though, even though you're not supposed to. And I like detected a wrinkle along the back thigh that I got rid of. I only made one full leg, and then the other one I stopped at the knee. I kind of wish I would have been able to record the process besides doing the guild zooms, because I think there are a few things that really fall short in the instructions. But if anyone's interested in making themselves a custom form, I highly recommend it. Like, the sewing was really easy. The whole thing is really not hard. It didn't take me long to sew it. I was chipping away at it during Zooms with the guild and things like that. But it was very manageable. It was, you know, it is that thing of like, you really got to make sure that you're measuring yourself as you stuff it, because you can distribute the weight differently than how they have. So, lecture series. Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. I feel like I felt a little bit like, because like Aisha mentioned something, and I was like, oh, now I feel a little bit like, it just brought up all that stuff, you know. If you know, you know. You know, I need a little thingy. Just a second. It was already 94 degrees here before 9 a.m. Fahrenheit. It's 91 up here, but it was 94 at my house this morning. Yeah, and I feel like I'm definitely to that point now where I'm like, I just don't really care if people think I'm being mean when I'm honest like that, because it's not. It's just honesty, and a lot of people feel like they're in the dark about some of these things, and they don't understand why it's like this, or why is this pant like this and this pant's not like that. Why something doesn't fit you when it's not you, it's them, you know, that kind of thing. And so I don't like people feeling that the truth is this one thing when they don't have all the information. So how can you base things off of fact if your idea of what the facts are doesn't include all of the information, you know? So I never pin things, but I'm going to pin this to here, and then I'm slide it over. I just want to make sure my pant over there is on the fabric, you know? So I think, oh yeah, I have plenty of fabric there, but let's just check the grain line and stuff. I wish I did have a CAD program, because it would be really fun to, especially for this pants fitting thing, it would be really fun to show you guys a pant, the same pair of pants with the whole upper torso part moved around, because that is the potential that you're dealing with every time you buy a home sewing pattern. Oh no, Sydney. Well, you'll see it in September. Yeah, it's true, Aisha. Yeah. Yeah, that is absolutely true, Rachel. I would love to be a bridge between the two, but I don't think one side feels that way, so. And you know what? Whatever. So much of the home sewing scene is built upon, like, as far as like compensation goes, as far as it's all built upon like affiliate sales and free patterns and free fabric. Well, you know what? I don't want those things. They're nice, But I want complete choice over what I'm buying and what I'm sewing. I don't want to be dictated by the company. You know, I like having those opportunities, you know, but I don't want to do that 100%. I just like it occasionally. And I like it more as a way to have the opportunity to do something that I probably wouldn't have picked out, you know, like getting the projects from Hearts Fabric, or like we're going to do a project with Lush Cloth. You know, that is really awesome. So, did they? They went crazy in chat? Nah. All right, so I printed out a few different sizes here. I'm trying to remember why. Let's look at the size chart. Back to the size chart. So there's 2 size ranges with this, and I'm going to be sewing another one of Ready to Sew patterns next week. And it only comes in the lower size range, and I'm just being really transparent about that. I really appreciate that they're just like, these patterns are not going to get extended sizing, but these patterns do. I picked one from each. So sometimes that's how it is. It's the first pattern in a long time that I'm making that's not size inclusive. And I was just intrigued by it because I want to use it for a sunblock top. So I am at the very top end of the lower size range, and I kind of contemplated, like, do I go into the next one or not? But I don't think I should. Not with overalls. Overalls, you have a lot more play, you know? So let's see here. Where's inches? Oh, that is so tiny and faint because I put 2 pages on one. Yeah, I think we're okay with this one. How do I tell? I hate it when the sizes aren't printed on here. There we go. Oh, so this green one. All right, I'm gonna do the green one. Okay, the 46. Hi, Walter. Walter, I miss you. How are you doing? What's the weather like there? This is our first little heat. Well, we had a little mini heat wave at one point, but I need to take these pins out. I don't like this one bit. Okay. But this is like our first like kind of bad one. Yeah, exactly, Shim. 80 is really nice. I agree. Where I live gets such a bad rap for the heat, but to be honest, it's really only like this for, like, there's like a solid month where it's pretty bad. You know, 100-degree days, 90-degree days, things like that, 90 to 100. And then, you know, the like few weeks before and few weeks after, you have a lot of tapering of that. But the rest of the year is just so amazing. You could just leave for the hot months and miss the fire season too, you know, why not? Sorry, you can't see me, I think. All right, so we got that leg. Oh, it's humid. That does change things. It's not humid here, it's very dry. It's beautiful. Oh, nice. Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, right, Fiona. Yeah, that's so true, Nancy. I do kind of worry about that going to the bigger size. With the overalls, I feel a little better because I'm like, you know, loose overalls, that'll be okay. We got a draw cord to help as well. I do need fabric, I think, for the straps still too. So let's hope I can get the straps. Let's pull this away from the fold so that I have my straightest long piece over there. I think this is the strap. I can probably get it there when I open that up, hopefully. Let's get these big pieces out of the way, and then we can get to the fun stuff of the cutting, you know? All right, let's see here. All right, so that's 9 inches. We can swing this even more like that. There we go. 9. Cool. You moved to Florida if you like heat. Oof. I went there once for to go to one of the amusement parks, and we went in January, and it was hard. I mean, I live here, and that was a really hot trip. And my poor friend who was from Oregon, it was really hot for her. I just remember going, all right, well, I brought my shorts, but I didn't wear them the very first day under my like skirts and dresses. I didn't wear them for the first day. I don't know why. And it was just because it had been winter where I was and it was cooler. So yeah, I almost ruined my whole trip on that one day at the park. This fabric was not cut on grain. Look at that. This is the difference at the top when I lined it up. Lined up the selvages. So I lost a little bit. So we'll save this little piece. We'll probably need it. We need this piece for sure for the strap. There's really no notches. Kind of funny, huh? How do you find the pattern? Sorry, I didn't see your question. Bootstrap dress forms, or no, it's called Bootstrap Fashions. I can put a link in the chat because I think Terry's cooking right now. Bootstrap Fashions, and they have a few different dress form patterns. It's going to come right up for me because I've been on the site a little bit lately. Here you go. There you go. They have quite a few, and I did the pant form, DIY leg form, and it's on the second row. So that's the one I did. Nancy has done the dress form though. So she was one of my resources to figure out if I was really wanting to do that. Look at this, how uneven this is. So, you know, one of my strategies I could have done is cut this fabric along the fold and then shifted and lined them up, but then you lose the potential of what's on the fold that you might need. So, all right, so this has a really interesting, this is facing, I think. Really interesting leg pocket slash like front like abrasion thing. These are all not in this fabric, just these. So there's a left and a right. This whole piece says pocket. I definitely looked into it. I was like, that's really big. So maybe what I could do is, oh, those are on the fold. I'm kind of thinking what I'm going to do is cut these with the fabric open. That way I will conserve more fabric for something like this, since there's only one on each. I do recommend it, Nancy. That's so funny you say that, Aisha and Nancy, because one of my comments I woke up to on my YouTube was, nice video, but ooh, you make me so nervous with your rotary cutter. And I was a little bugged by it. I was just like, okay. And the thing is, like, Do you guys remember when we dealt with a lot of comments like that when I first started streaming? And I had to, you know, educate people. Well, the thing is, when you're seeing me rotary knife, you're seeing it from above. You're not seeing it straight on, and the distance between my hands and the rotary knife. So it's a very odd perspective. I could see how it would make people nervous. But, you know, it's not my first rodeo. So I would like to do a skill building on cutting confidence, like just cutting anything out with confidence, however you like to do it. Because, and I'm not sure how to go about that, but maybe I could let you guys kind of direct me, like what is it that would make you feel more confident? What would you want to know? Because sometimes I think it's just like, well, I'm scared that it's not going to fit me. You know, it's like that kind of thing. Maybe it's, oh, I'm scared to ruin my fabric. You know, I'm scared. There's a lot of reasons, legit reasons. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so the way I look at it, especially if you've been a mountain biker or someone who pilots a vehicle where you've got a lot at risk, the way I look at it, and it's the same with sewing, I look where I want to go. I do not look where I don't want to go. Hi, Libby. Look at your fabrics coming in good use. Oh, you got the ergonomic one? Oh, which one did you get? I'd like to know more about that. Yeah, it does, Nancy. I watch those videos too, and I'm like, now I feel what people must think like when they watch me, you know? All right, so this is the left front and the right front pocket. So it's that whole front panel along the pants, and then it has a pocket built into it right here. This is the opening. You only cut one of each, so open out your fabric. You don't want to use it up. And then I have all of this over here for that. This is great. I'm going to use less fabric than I thought, and that's because I opened it up. So yeah, no, it's great, Libby. This is okay. We don't have to worry about this. Did your summer camp just end, Libby? The Martelli. Oh, that sounds familiar. I feel like we talked about that somewhere. Maybe it's in that accessibility topic in the guild. I have to check that out. Oh, yeah, I kind of do remember this now, like we were talking about that. The smaller diameter for sharp turns. Yep. This isn't ideal. I wouldn't do this. Well, I would probably do this, but, oh shoot. See, look at that. I was kind of bad right there. It'll be fine. Yeah, Shem, don't try and force yourself to use something you don't like. I agree. There's a lot of people who use scissors still, and I think that's great. There's nothing wrong with scissors at all. I don't know what this marking is right here. Maybe this is a stitch definition line for the pocket. So I'll just keep, there's also a line here. This might be their version of notches. So I'll just keep the pattern piece with it so we can not miss those when we go to sew it. Nice. Oh, I just cut off my selvage. Well, that's annoying. That's annoying. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put this back on here like this. How to find the grain line. I need a grain. There we go. And now I can use this one to measure to that one. It's perfect. What? Okay, well, oops. that's good. That's funny though. Salvage the selvage. Save the selvage. I'm really trying to save all my fabric here. That's why I'm just turning the corner immediately, not going off the edge. I'll go off the edge there though. Paper, 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 paper. Fabric. Yeah, this one has this line. Maybe this is the shorts line, cut line. All right, let's look at what we got left here. Plenty. Yeah, sure, Kristen. No problem. Let's see. This is on the fold. This is on the fold. 1, 1. Those are lined with that fabric I've set aside. And then we have our straps, and then we have our pockets. Why are the pockets on the fold? That's so hard. Like when you're trying to place a little pocket and it's on the fold. Might be able to get it out. Like this one here. Oh, this is how this goes though. This was the... Okay, so those won't work. This I can get rid of. All right, well, let's cut our bib. Bib, 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 bib. All right, let's see here. That's so smart, Nancy. Yeah, you are a clever, clever person. I've done that before with pins. You know, when I knew it was really important, I would mark I'm like, okay, I'm about to cut this off, and this is really important, like especially on something like, something really loosey-goosey like a rayon or something. But I don't always do it. I'm definitely, you know, not always following the best practices. Putting this on the fold. I covered up the, oh yeah, that's right there, the fold line there. And I covered something up on one of these and I had to like dig it out. I was like, where is that? The paper overlapped perfectly over something. Can't remember what it was now. Maybe it wasn't this pattern actually. I'm a little concerned about how I can tell this back is going to sew together. Because it looks like it's going to sew together like the Yanta overalls do. And that is a pretty tricky juncture to get your straps to fit into this right here. Because usually overalls, with a pattern piece looks like this. Like one of the backs has a strap built onto it. And then you have an extra strap that lays behind it. And then that's less bulky and a little easier to manage the bulk of. All right, I'm just going to nip the center bottom of this. I don't really need the pattern piece anymore. And then let's move this closer. Yeah, right, Nancy, I know. It only takes doing that to make you go, what could I do to make this better for myself? All right, if I want a bigger piece, I could do this, flip this over. This is potential strap material. That's all plenty of fabric. Do I want to go all the way to the bottom of this? Maybe, because then I'd have a bigger piece here. I need one of each of those pockets. I could do, maybe not. Maybe it's not worth it. Where's my other little guy? Here he is. Oops. Might not be worth it. Maybe I just do this and see my pieces. No, we'll do it. You never know. You never know. I'm not sure, Fiona. I feel like it might. I feel like the elastic attaches to the back bib, and if that's the case, awesome. If it's strap, then elastic, then strap again, those straps right there at that point. But I think you're right. I think that's also why it's important to do the 1.5 inch. I can see the line. Sorry, you can't probably see it. So if you're skipping the elastic and just doing strap back there, which I think some people might, if you don't have the elastic, which is understandable, yeah, just be aware that can be kind of a tricky area to get all those seam allowance junctures if you're doing a heavy fabric. This is I want to say this is about a 10-ounce denim. It's very much like the fabric I use to make the Dawn jeans in, you know, that gold color. It's overdyed denim-y type of fabric. Okay, so we have these two and this left. So let's use this long narrow piece here. Where is that? To do our straps, what we can, because this isn't a very usable piece anyway. That fold line. There it is. I'm gonna stack the folds on top of each other. This fabric's gonna look off grain though. Shoot, I thought that might happen. Can I get like one? No. Wah, I can only get one. I think, oh, I need 4 of these? No. 4. Uh-oh. Maybe we can line one side of them though, you know? Oh, cool. Is that where you got organza? You can get it there at a silk place? Yeah, right, Nancy? If I'd made a mock-up of these, I would know, can I make the strap a little bit shorter? Because I have a feeling that that is a lot of strap, you know? Because I don't think it's going to go that far back there. So do I wait? Maybe I wait to cut out my strap. And then I could put, like pin it together and kind of do a mock-up. Yeah, I think I will shim because also it makes it less bulky, you know? And that's kind of appealing. All right, I'm just gonna look at my fabric left here. If I just have plenty, I'll just cut them. This is... I just wish these pattern pieces were not on the fold. Okay, that will go there. That's where I need the straps to go though. Oh, okay, this is the length grain of that. And what's this? Yeah, so I have enough to do 2 straps right here, and then I'll do 2 in lining. I'm just a little concerned I have enough lining, to be honest. So I could do that, right? Okay, so I can get that there. I can get that there. Yikes, okay. Oh, Dharma trading, okay. That's a fun site to get lost on, huh? It's kind of an old school site though, isn't it? I remember looking at it last year, I think, for potential dye to make, you know, the linen coverlets I've been talking about. All right, this is the bib pocket. What is this? Oh, these are back pockets. I need just one? Wait. Back pocket, only one. Oh yeah, there's only one back pocket. Oh, interesting. Why is it on the left butt? I cry. Discrimination against right-handed people. My husband is right now like definitely happy about this. He's a lefty. Okay. Down to our last few pieces. Only one back pocket. Because the front thing is asymmetrical. Remember I cut one of each of those and they were pretty, one was much wider. Excuse me. Sorry. And it kind of like, the bigger one wraps around. So that it would be in the way of a back pocket. All right. I don't know if you're still here, Libby, but my pan form's hanging next to me right now with pants on it. Yeah, Wayback doesn't have everything, you know? Oh, this goes like this. So just one of these. All right, fine. Oof. Sometimes, man, you're cutting twill. It just does not want to cut straight. Sometimes it just grabs it and cuts so nice, and other times like this is like, it looks like I hacked it, you know? Okay. I'm going to save these little pieces because maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll want another little pocket or something, you know? Okay, so let's move these pieces here. These are all my scraps. This is my bin up here of fabrics that need to be put away. Do you guys have one of those? Here is my pattern pieces I don't need. Okay, so now we have I always consider this the fun part, you know, the like lining and the pieces that kind of personalize it. So these are napkins from World Market, these linen pieces here. And I think I was thinking about the pockets, the pocket lining for these maybe. And then this is the bib. Yeah, I think that's how I had to do it. Let's see. I would rather this be at the top, to be honest. But I don't think that, yeah, this isn't big enough for the bib facing. So these are my pockets. And then this is my bib facing. Do-do-do-do. Can you machine wash silk organza? Yes, you can. Are you guys mostly using it for like interfacing type stuff? So these napkins were like half price when I was there. And it was like the middle of the panini. I hadn't been to a retail store in over a year, I think, besides like the grocery store or picking up to-go food. And I was shopping with my daughter, I think because she was visiting. And we went in there and she needed something for her apartment. That's what it was. I think that's what it was. And so I was just like, whoa. And you know, like seeing like great fabric definitely always, you know, gets you feeling creative. And I hadn't shopped for fabric in person in a really long time. Oh God, thanks, Shem. Don't forget straps. Yeah, well, poo. Do I really need straps? Straps are so overrated. When I saw all these napkins on a table that were like 50% off, I quickly did the math. And I was like, dang, that's like $3 a yard fabric for cute prints. You know, it's like having a fat quarter. So I had fun shopping them. Oh, right. Yes, someone asked Indigo what to line pants. That would be a natural fiber. Really? You would use silk organza? Oh, interesting. Oh, I missed that post, I think. Maybe I missed it. Isn't silk organza kind of scratchy and stiff, though? Is that what you guys would use? I've lined pants with poplin before. Lining pants is a tricky business. Oh, really, Taya? Oh, interesting. Interesting. There you go, Libby. Yeah, isn't it kind of stiff and scratchy? That's what I thought too, Taya. But maybe once it's washed. But even then, I used to work I didn't work there. I did the patterns for this one company. I've mentioned them before. They did garment dyed dresses. They were very like oversized dresses. Talk about a non-inclusive sizing company. They came in 3 sizes because they were all just like wide. So they just were like, they'll fit everybody. And they wouldn't. They didn't fit everybody at all. They fit the sisters who ran it really nicely and cute, but yeah, anyway, they used a lot of silk organza because they would dye it with the other fabrics that they were using, which was like silk charmeuse and other kinds of natural fibers. And because it dyed a little differently, they would use it as an overlay, and it would look kind of cool. Oh, interesting. Hi, Missy. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Shem totally just rained on my parade, reminding me I need straps. Such a killjoy. It is toasty here too, but probably not as toasty as Arizona. Okay, so I can get this one here. And why isn't this one on the reverse? Oh my gosh, okay, fine. I can maybe get this one up here if I do this. Yeah, I've seen that too. Where's my strap? Isn't it right here? Here it is. Okay. So maybe I can get it across the top there because I don't have another one of those blue ones. This was my creative shopping spree of napkins. So I'm pretty sure I don't have another one of the blue. Okay. This would have been a good fabric for that. That's my garments that I parted out for fabric. So I know it's pre-washed. I'm not sure, Nancy. I think because it holds stuff down. Oh, really? That's awesome. Taya, that's cool. All right. So I can get this one here. Get that on grain a little bit. And let's see if I can keep it on grain going this way. Just lining up the pattern. It's a, because it's a yarn dyed or a woven, you can kind of, it'll probably be a little bit off, but it's a facing, and I don't want to spend the time it would take to get it perfect right now. Uh-oh, need a new blade, I think. Definitely don't want to pull this one. It'll make it run, Oh, this is the one that got covered up. Like, it got covered completely up. I had to write it in there underneath my little fold over piece. Let's see, how far? How far can I get away with folding this? like maybe right about there. Somewhere like there. Okay, let's get that on green. I love all the things you guys figure out. All right, line it up. You can spend so long doing this, you know? There we go, okay. Hi, Eliza, how's it going? You busy, busy? See, this would fit better here, like that. I'll just do it upside down. You're one of the only focused people working at home, Eliza, that doesn't have something going on in the background. I have a video to edit today for the pants fitting thing. And I do think that some of you are going to be kind of surprised that there is one little kernel of information in it that goes against a lot of the popular things you're hearing about pant fitting right now. And it's about when you pick your, when you when you trace your pants off to cut and make a sample, like a muslin, right? You don't need to sew the whole thing, right? You just need to do the front and the back of your pant. And if it had a pocket right here, you need to fill in that bit. And I see a lot of people saying, just use the back pant to trace the side seam of your front. And you don't do that because it is 50-50 whether the back top of your pant waist in that corner there where it joins the side seam at the front is going to be the same angle, and you might be adding circumference. And I love that I said this, and then when I was doing my little demonstration, it was absolutely like that on the pattern. I would have added an inch to the front waist if I had used the back to try and fill in that pocket spot. Use your pocket. So gotta finish, Eliza. Get out of here then. I am not gonna be your distraction, Eliza. Scoot. Be away. Go finish that chapter so we can celebrate with you. You know I love you. That's why I'm saying that. All right, let me find, let's see. You gotta love this fabric. I know exactly where I bought this from, and it was not cut on grain, and it's a yarn dye. Look at this. See right here how this is a full square right here? And then this is the middle of the fabric, and look, it goes up almost a half of a square. The world's just mad right now. All right, I'm gonna use this as my pattern piece, and we're gonna just line it up on the fabric, and it's gonna be okay, right? Just like this. This isn't perfectly on the pattern. It's probably gonna bug us when we see it sewn later. I admit that. But but getting this perfectly true on the grain to the what weave of there would be really hard. And I just don't think like that kind of fussiness sometimes is really going to save me time later. I can kind of correct it a little bit when I sew it with seam allowance and stuff. So this is one of the reasons I'll show you why I haven't used any of these fabrics very much, because so you look at the back here and you see these floats of threads. So let me try and get you a, you see all those threads right there? And it's like that everywhere, right? It's all these threads. So to use something like this for, like say a shirt, with all those floats back there, you can catch rings on it when you're putting it on. It can get in the, you know, washing machine and dryer. So true, Missy. So true. Oh, really, Aisha? You better be sharing this in the like fabric topic of the guild. I want to know. I don't get to read all of chat. Look at all the little threads I left behind. Whoop. Look at that. That's a lot. Okay. This is just scrap. I don't think I could have used this as my strap, right? It was definitely not long enough. Yeah, okay. We checked that. We'll save this though. Put it in my to be put away pile, which gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, thanks, Aisha. I would love to see that. And maybe your ergonomic cutter in the accessibility topic. Sorry, only when you have a chance. Like no stress. If you don't want to, it's fine. But I want to see. All right, let's move everything here. And let's see what we got here. We have our strap, which really is going to be this red, right? One butt pocket, one bib pocket, one bib. That's this one here. I think you can also line the entire bib. In fact, I kind of wish I would have. So. Oh, I saw that, Jim. Oh my goodness. Oh, cool, Aisha. That's awesome. I like my Upton. I almost wore it yesterday, in fact. All right, so we have that bib. We have this bib pocket, which is, it's so short. This is the right front pocket. So it is this one. All right. We'll group all our pattern pieces. How's that? This is the back leg. So you're going to get the pocket. This is the front leg. Here's the other bib. Bib facing. And then here is this leg. Really, Elena? Do you have like an extra light? Do any of you have those like aught light type things, like clamp on or something? All right, we're just gonna pair these together because we saw some notches on here and we're just not sure. So. And then I have this batting here to make some knee pads. I'm excited. I'll do a little picture for my post. Plus it looks nice and, you know, like when you see it, the lighting. Is it on? I can't believe sometimes when I'm like, oh, I don't need to turn the light on. And then like when I have when I've had machines that had the option, and then I'm like, oh, this is giving me so much more light than I realized. Oh, it's so true. The LEDs are just, yeah, so much safer. I've seen blisters and scars on people who have the old style. Yeah, they do, Aisha, that's true. You press the foot to tell if it's on or not. It's like in a factory, you know, the old school machines. You could hear if there was a machine left on at the end of the day when we would like walk across the floor. We'd be like, oh, I hear a machine. You'd have to like look around and find it. And then more of later, you couldn't tell. And so some of the machines would just be on. They would just be on all night, unfortunately. But a little light, you can see a light sometimes, you know. So if you can see the light from that far away, then you can go and turn it off. But yeah, it was kind of funny. Oh, it's a little dull on camera, isn't it? Brighten it up a little bit. This looks pretty cool. It's like a navy blue with this little flower print. I think it goes, you know, it'll work. All right, well, tomorrow I'm gonna sew part 1. Let's see what we're gonna do tomorrow. I'm kind of curious what order we do this. I usually like to, you know, like prep all the pieces and then assemble them together. So let's see here. We start with back pockets, front pockets. Well, we just top stitch the front pocket opening, okay. Back pockets, front rise, left pocket, and then you put one leg onto the front assembly and put the other pocket on, I think. Is that how that is? Yeah. Oh, and that is a pocket definition. Okay, that little stitch line I saw. All right, all right. You could put rivets on this if you wanted. Maybe we can get the whole bottom pair of pants, the pants done tomorrow. That'll be a good goal. We'll get the pants done and then we'll be left with the bib, straps, elastic, and hardware, and draw cord. Cool. Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. I'm pretty excited. I'm always pretty excited. Thanks, Stitching in Space. I appreciate it. I am too. I struggled to find enough fabric that would go with this. In fact, what was my other contender? I feel like it was this right here. I think it was this right here. But I honestly didn't want to use this big piece of linen for this, you know. It was something else. I can't remember what it was. Oh, well, it's not really important, but I think it was too matchy-matchy. I don't remember. Oh, well. Shouldn't I start sewing? No, I've got some stuff to do for you guys by Friday. I need to edit a video, write a whole thing for the pants fitting thing. And then we have Ask a Sew question on Friday morning, and I need to put together the list of patterns you guys have been putting in that to review. The new pattern release reviews. So I have a bit to do today and tomorrow afternoon. I'm hoping I can get it done. The editing won't be it won't be highly edited. That'll be nice. So yeah, anyway. Sorry. You've spent so much time with me, you guys. I know this because no one showed up to one of the Zooms the other day, and I was like, this is kind of like a sudden free 2 hours. And so I was like, am I allowed to be excited about that? Not the alternative, too matchy, yeah, right? Yeah, so I know you're getting your fill of me when people don't show up. And that was totally fine. People don't have to. I was like, all right, my job is done. And all I did was, I think, work on my pant form. Oh no, I worked on this. I worked on making sure this was going to happen. So anyway, so yeah, you'll see me tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, hour 40 minutes. It's under 2 hours. Oh, great. Do they have them listed in like show notes? And some expanded sizing patterns. Great. Well, I'll go to also, I really like going to the Curvy Pattern database, and because they do such a great synopsis every month of what curvy patterns have been added to the database. And I go to the fold line and look at their new patterns. If you have any and you're a guild member, like at apprentice level or higher, you can write it in the event and I will put it to the list and we'll go through it. So I'm really liking that addition. And I know that this is kind of weird because a lot of people don't know about this Ask a Sew question show, but it's a show in the guild, and if you're an apprentice level group member, you get to go to this show and you get to call in and ask a sewy question if you want. They're all really shy though, so only a few of them call in. So I've had to add this other component where we review new release patterns every month. Don't you love how I'm shaming them? So anyway, so yeah, so all of you that go to that or if you can't go, if you just want to write your pattern in that list under the event, I will review it. So, all right, guys. Thanks, Delwyn. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Happy sewing. Where's my project number? Okay, bye. See, aren't those cute? You see the thumbnail? Aren't they cute? They're going to be cute.